NIO has reported its Q4 and 2022 delivery numbers, and a bullish future can be expected. So, should you buy? Stay focused as we go through recent news as well as my chart analysis and price prediction. But before we do that, subscribe to our channel Stocks 101 for regular stock market updates. The company delivered 15.8 thousand cars in the last month, reporting over a 50% increase from the previous year, and the fourth quarter saw 40,000 deliveries, reporting a 60% year-on-year increase, indicating great growth. And for 2022's total deliveries, they stood at 122.5 thousand vehicles, going 34% up from 2021's 91.5 thousand deliveries. These metrics indicate a good future growth, as maintaining a 30 to 50% growth can get NIO's stock to much higher levels. Apart from this, NIO won the first place in an award show held in China for engineers and tech innovators, thanks to their battery swapping and separation technologies, which is their main selling point as well. With all that in mind, let's analyze the charts. So as you guys can see right here now in the 1-day chart for NIO, and as always, we'll first analyze the 1-day chart, then the 1-hour chart, and to end it off, we'll get to the 5-minute chart. Now, right off the bat, we can see that, well, we did fall down by 2.4% on Friday's trading session, and now the market is not open today because, of course, holidays. The market will open tomorrow on Tuesday, 3rd January. Now, first up, Happy New Year to all of you. Secondly, now coming back to the analysis, of course, we can see that we did get a pretty decent, pretty strong bear run over here, which escalated after taking a breather over here, right? We took the breather, escalated the bear run, and ever since this time, we can see that, well, we've had a pretty good recovery and we're on our way to build a bull trend. Now, what is going to happen, in my opinion? Well, I personally think that if we go by this reversal method, right, if we can see that, we fell down pretty bad, got an uptrend, then fell down even further. So we can see that we went down decently, got a pretty bad bear run. So we might go up even better than the previous time. So I personally, if I were to sum it up in one word, it would be bullish, right? I personally am bullish on NIO because I believe that once the market opens, we're headed for, straight hitting that $10 level, and we likely cross that the same day, right? So once the market opens, where is it going to be? Is it going to be a gap up or a gap down? In my opinion, it will likely be a gap down. It will likely be a gap down around 9.7, 9.65, just in the middle of 9 point. Where did I do that? In the middle of 9.7 and $9.6. That should be an optimum location for the gap down, and then we might get supported by 9.6 and then continue to bounce back, move forward. And once the market begins, of course, we'll get good volumes on the buying side, of course, and then we'll likely hit $10 in my opinion. Now, coming back to the delivery report, I personally think that it was a great growth, right? I have the article pulled up over here that I'll link to in the pinned comment as well. It's from Global Newswire, and they just gave you guys a complete report of the deliveries. First up, we can see over here in this article that the premium electric SUVs, right, the premium segment that NIO has to offer, out of which, one of the most popular vehicle is, of course, the ES7S, right? And then we have the what I believe, wait, let me see. Yeah, it's the ET7S. Yeah, so it is ET7. We did get pretty much 1400 ET7 vehicles delivered as well. So deliveries are going pretty well, right? We did get a 60% year-on-year increase, and of course, we did achieve a record as well in terms of quarterly deliveries. And if we talk about 2022's total performance, we did go up by 34% as compared to the past year, right? And I've already told you guys that in the previous part of this video, but it's still important for me to kind of tap into these topics. And why is that so? Well, as we all know, if a company does not grow, how is the stock going to grow, right? That's the first point. And secondly, deliveries will indicate the road presence as well. The number of vehicles delivered is pretty much equal to the number of vehicles that will actually be out on the road, right? So if we get 130,000 deliveries, that means that 130,000 new vehicles will likely be on the road, and that will, of course, even if we consider the fact that 100 people see that car every single day, well, that's going to pile up to be a huge number across all of those 130,000 people. Now, of course, if we were to talk about growth potential, as you all know that Tesla is losing out on market share. Tesla is getting a bad rep as well these days. So that's of course not that great of a thing. It's not exactly something to celebrate, right? But at the same time, where's that market share gonna go? It will be distributed evenly among its competitors, and one of its major competitors is of course NIO, right? So NIO is gonna benefit majorly from that. And with that, I personally think that NIO has the potential to hit at least $30 by the end of this year, 2023, right? But again, then again, it's just my own analysis, and I could be wrong. So you should, of course, do your own research. And at the same time, if we talk about some important factors you might want to research, right? First thing that I would probably suggest you guys to keep in mind is this and this crazy big bear trend that we've been a part of ever since January 2021, right? This is an important thing. So you should always include these long-term price movements and long-term price trends in your analysis to make sure that you're not making the wrong decision, because of course if you're investing for the long term, you have to analyze the long term as well. Now coming back to the second point, I would like you guys, or rather I would not like you guys, I would prefer, or not even prefer, I would suggest that you guys also take a look at some key support levels like this one over here. Um, where is it? Yeah, around $16, around $18, right? So $2 up, $2 down. That's the way to get NEO's levels. Sometimes $3, like 23 is a good level as well. 23, right? 22, 23, 25, 28, 26 is not that strong if I'm not wrong. $26. It is fairly strong. We can see that, right? And going down like 20, 18, 17, not exactly 17, 20, 18, 16, 15, 14, 12, right? All of those levels are pretty strong, so you should probably keep them in mind. But then again, is the stock bullish? I personally think so. Do let me know if you guys are bullish on NIO in the comments down below. And with that, we'll move on into the 1 hour chart. And now that we're in the 1 hour chart, let me zoom out a bit. We can see that, well, we've developed this bear trend over here for the past few weeks or so. I would say for the past month, because, well, it's already been a month since 2nd December, right? We've developed this bearish trend going into 2023. But at the same time, if you look at the baseline was positive all the way until over here. And then we broke that on the downside, right? So we did make lower lows, and currently at $9.76. Where are we headed? Well, in my opinion, we will need to kind of get back into the $12 range if we want to kind of continue with this trend, and we'll have to do it fast as well. So in my opinion, this news that we just got, it won't likely push the stock that high, because most traders, when they're buying a stock and selling a stock, they usually account for the news and of course future news in the trade itself. And that is why I personally think that it might actually lead to sell off in the pre-market and in the first hour, and then we might actually kind of translate that into a bull run in the longer period as we go. So that again is my prediction on the 1 hour chart. And with that, um, quickly analyze what's going to happen on 3rd January, right? We'll quickly go through that in the 1 hour chart itself. So in my opinion, as I already told you, we might get a gap down. Wait, I'm not sure if I told you that, right? But if we get a gap down around 9.7, 9.6, I think I already told you that, we'll likely get a gap up, or rather not a gap up, but a bull trend to the upside. Of course, a bull trend is to the upside. I don't know what I'm speaking today, right? So once we do that, some important levels that will, of course, hinder our growth: $10, psychological level, $10.5, $11. Just keep doing this, add 50 cents, go on and on. Those are all psychological levels. 10.8, 10.3, 10.2, 9.75, 9.8, all of, 9.9, 9.95, 9.98. All of these levels are important, so you can mark them on your own chart. And with that, we'll jump on to the most interesting part of this chart, which is the 5-minute chart. And now that we're in the 5-minute chart, we can see that over here, for example, well, not for example, but we can see that over here on 30th December, we got a crazy ton of volume in the last candle, which was about 213,000 shares traded, which I believe a lot of these were probably buy orders, right? 213,000, that's about, I believe, $2 million in trading volume, right? A little under that. So, or rather a little above that, I'm sorry. $2 million in trading volume, even if 50% of that was holders, right? So they're gonna hold the stock. $1 million raise for NIO, easy, right? That's pretty good. But at the same time, we need to kind of take in account a few things, out of which the first one, of course, is that all of these people are buying the stock and holding it, right, while it's going down. So it must have some substance to it, right? Of course, we do go by the majority bias. I wouldn't say bias, probably the majority, what do you call it? Um, the majority paradox or something, right? That if we think, most of us think that if a crowd is doing something, it is likely correct. But at the same time, it is correct, and sometimes, especially in the stock market, because the market moves on trend, and trend is caused by the majority. So we should keep that in mind, of course, while we're trading. And of course, if we look at this trend that we made over here, before the market ended, right? The last 2 hours, I would say, we can see that we were kind of bullish. And if we get a gap down, it could serve very well as a pullback to this bullish trend. And then it can continue once we're in the market with, of course, some smaller pullbacks in there. And well, all in all, I believe NIO can likely, or rather will likely, cross $10 on Tuesday's trading session. So should you buy? Well, that's completely up to you, as I could be wrong. So remember that this most definitely is not financial advice, and you should always do your own research before you trade. If, however, you enjoyed my analysis, sure, you can hit the like button. If you did not enjoy it, be sure to hit the dislike button. You can subscribe to our channel, Stocks 101, for more such videos. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.